Hello everyone, SirMonkeySuit Dabi here, back again with My Hero Academia Season 6. We are on episode 11, so this is the final episode of the bulk recording thing, just to get caught up back to the series again, that I'm going to be doing today. So yeah, after this video I will do a bit of a more sort of in-depth talk about the whole, past 5 episodes or whatever that I have done. And yeah, get into all of the shit that's gone on throughout this fight. And seemingly, it almost feels like after last episode, this could be the episode where the whole war thing ends. This whole season has basically been from the very get-go just a full-on fight. This could be the sort of the end of that, or at least the back end. Normally it's a half a season, right, where they have a specific thing that they're focusing on, and then they have a different sort of thing that they focus on in the latter half of the season. And so we're getting to that now. It's episode 11, but we'll see what we get here. I imagine this is where we're going to focus on Makia getting to where Shigaraki is, getting him out of there, and then that's where it'll leave off, and then we have a long sort of rest period, I guess, because this has just been non-stop ever since it started. So yeah, I don't think there's anything else to really talk about other than the fact of Ochako, or Himiko has now sorted out Ochako, and now they are fighting as well. So yeah, we've got that to look forward to as well. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got. So I think we're just going to get straight into episode 11, see what we get. So as always, the reaction will be here on YouTube, but if for whatever reason it gets taken down for copyright in the future, I'll re-upload this as a discussion only, and a link to the reaction will be in the description below. As always, a link to the full-length reaction to this episode is in the description below as well, so if you do want to watch my full-length reaction, and not just the cut 10-minute version, then the offer is there for you. But yeah, nothing else to really talk about, so you are going to get into episode 11, season 6, see what we get. So without further ado, let's go.
Don't change the
fuck, best genus!
That countless lives are being unraveled as we speak.
Dude!
Please take care of yourself.
I can't believe Best Genus, man. I didn't know what happened. I thought fucking Hawks had done something mad, and fucking Best Genus is alive. Fucking hell. Bloody hell. Todoroki's carrying everyone, dude.
Midoriya, you must leave.
No, okay.
Don't do it.
He still wants to. God.
Don't take orders.
I guess his hair's back.
I need to stay here. I can't leave. Shigaraki wants my quirk. More maggots. Keep wriggling to the surface.
No, when to give up, does he? Jeez.
Sorry, but I'm way stronger than I was last time. I need to touch her
So is she.
without letting her steal my blood. It's so hard to be me!
So she did legitimately die then.
If I love a person, I can become them and use their power. You have no idea how happy that makes me.
I would never feel good about hurting another person. What are you even trying to get at?
You must have dropped it, friend.
That's mine!
Jean was precious to me too. Like a brother.
I can't spend any more time on her. If I attack head on, she'll dodge. So... Zero satellites!
Neither of us has to hold back anymore. Ignoring your urges makes them worse!
Enough! Threaten people so you can do what you want! And you deserve whatever's coming to you!
Goodbye.
Oh fuck, I knew Sue would turn up in Shahati, right? She got her answer though.
I thought maybe we could bond over romantic stuff, but those were tears. I'm coming back home. I'm not confused anymore.
If you go through with what you're going through, then you deserve what you get, even if that means death, so...
Perfect timing, Makia. Must give Makia the order to retreat.
That's a cool look, man.
We can't fight that behemoth and Shigaraki at the same time.
A surge to that degree. Fucking hell.
Incoming!
Fucking hell.
Put me down. Need a complete victory.
He always does, man.
Shoto, you good?
Yeah.
As this country's top hero, I have to keep fighting.
He's number
there
one.
you are. From all the way up here,
we
everyone
go.
looks like tiny little ants. You're acting like we've never met.
He turned his hair white.
call me Toya. After all, it's the name you
Of course it is. Knew it was, man. It had to be.
My name
This is what he wanted Thingy for.
is Toya Todoroki. The #1 hero is my father.
This is how he's going to destabilize everything.
I figured you would have told them all about Toya.
It's not exactly an easy subject to broach.
At the time of this recording, I've killed more than 30 innocent people. Are you confused? Endeavor has always obsessively yearned for power.
Oh, he's going to give all of that
Much to his
up.
despair, he could never surpass All Might on his own.
He pushed him too hard and like...
Forced my mother to marry him in an attempt to create an heir with the perfect quirk. I've been watching you from the shadows this entire time. You know, out of everyone in the world, you should be beyond reproach, #1. I'm starting to have fun. I wondered how I could make you suffer. As a kid, I didn't know why I existed. I clinged to Natsu, bawling my eyes out.
Yeah.
But you didn't know that, did you? Who would have guessed, huh? I was suddenly so invested in your happiness. Can you believe in Kyushu I was actually afraid you were going to die? But you were soothed by public admiration, weren't you? Is that why you finally decided to try to bond with your children? The past never dies.
Bloody hell.
Enji Todoroki! Let's fall together! Come and dance with me in hell, won't you?
Enji, that's his name.
Speak up, Dad!
So he said when he burned up, that
Dry. Toya and I often trained on Sokoto Peak. The flames raged at over 2,000 degrees Celsius. We were told that his bones must have turned to ash. What's happened to your hair?
Huh? Forget about my hair! It's time for you to teach me an ultimate move!
I could see that Toya's firepower held greater potential than my own. He couldn't keep himself from overheating.
of course. But did he have enough of the ice quirk to where it didn't...
I continued to hope for a child
It would be
who could
fine
harness both
with
fire
that
and
much
ice.
heat.
Fuyumi only had Rei's frost power. Another Todoroki who wasn't my ideal. Though at the time, I was fine with that. I was certain that you could find the success I always wanted. My son is dead. These are disgusting lies.
Oh, man.
Oh, I'm very much alive. You're just a broken man who refuses to accept the truth.
He hid this from us too? What for? Come on, boss. You gotta wake up.
Obviously, I've already done one, and I released the results to the public.
It's already in public.
This here is an official paternity test. Endeavor continued to make my mother have kids. Their fourth child is someone you probably know. With Shoto, he finally found his hybrid. I saw it over and over again. He's self-righteous and weak-willed, consumed by ego.
Does this bad guy think we're stupid or something?
Those working with Endeavor are just as bad. Take the #2 pro.
Oh my god.
He didn't hesitate to drive his blade through the back of a despondent opponent.
There's no
Hawks murdered
context.
my friend right in front of me.
Oh god, they're gonna release Hawk's thing as
In
well.
order to get us to trust him, Hawks murdered one of his peers. He killed
didn't.
the #3 hero.
It's gonna show up and then it's gonna ruin his whole thing.
It's kind of funny that his old man was put away by mine. He really claims to be a hero? He's tricking the whole world! The thing I want you to realize today is that these heroes only protect themselves.
I don't want it to be true, man. But look at how much damage the heroes have done lately.
Thank you for living long enough to see this day! Endeavor!
Believed you were alive.
It's not in the right state of mind here.
Midoriya and Bakugo!
Oh shit!
Prominence!
No way is he got a prominence burn. Oh yeah, he is his best genius.
Best Genist is back.
He's just ruined, like, by showing up, it's just ruined all of Dabi's plans. Whew, yes! Okay. That is it. That is the bulk recording over and done with. We are caught up. And what do you know? We catch up to the moment that Dabi is confirmed to be a Todoroki. What a surprise! though, it always felt that way. You know what I mean? The thing is that you gotta take into account is that the whole idea of fire quirks and like it's common. You know, it's commonplace among like quirks in general. Like that wasn't something that was really talked about back then in season 3 when he appeared. So like the idea of anyone that even remotely had anything similar to another person, the first thing like thought that enters your mind is, well, are they related, right? And generally in these sorts of shows, shonen and whatnot, twists like this tends to happen more than not, so it's a fairly easy bet to just be like, he's got a fire quirk, he's probably related. There was, and it wasn't just something that like wasn't and totally not tied to him. I mean, there was literally like flashbacks when when Shoto was dealing with the whole thing with his father, and we were getting flashbacks, and we were seeing 4 children, and there was there weren't ones that were accounted for, right? And then you had the whole thing with like Dabi and Shoto, that they had that thing when like they captured Bakugo, right? So they had like that little thing there, and then in the end of season 4, it's Dabi that sends the high-end Nomu to fight Endeavor. So it's always been tied to it, and it's always been like trying to be hidden away, but it was just so easy to just figure out, right? So yeah, of course, the best thing about this is not the fact that like, oh, now we know. It's more of like the toll like it takes on Endeavor, right? I mean, you can see him there, like he wasn't gonna do anything. I mean, fucking Dabi, for Christ's sake, was gonna use a prominence burn. Fucking nuts, man. And I don't know, because like he talked about Toya having more raw talent than what Endeavor did. And blue fire is always synonymous with burning hotter than red or orange fire, which is more of a dirty flame. The blue is like more like pure. It's like it's talk about like heat. A prominence burn from that, I feel like would be stronger than Endeavor's. But yeah, I mean, Endeavor wasn't. That was it. He was just gone. The plan that Dabi had makes sense. Putting all of that into the public, like into public knowledge, having the public actually, listen to all of that and everything, was a good plan. And had Best Jeanist actually not been around, then I feel like a lot of people would have just sided with him regardless of him being a villain or not, because then it's like, because it puts a strain on heroes, as in like, what's the difference, right? It allows everyday people to really decide what is the difference between the two, right? Because basically both of them cause carnage for each other. It's like a yin and yang kind of situation. You know what I mean? Like, one exists because the other exists, and because they both exist, life is always chaotic. Like, it's always like destroyed and like, cities get totaled, and that's the thing. But I kind of wish they didn't show us Best Jeanist at the start of this episode. It would have been just better if he just appeared, because then like the viewer would have been like, well, I don't know then. I don't know what's going to happen. And then all of a sudden Best Jeanist shows up. Like, shit, he's alive. They kind of ruined it with his entrance at the beginning of the episode. But, whatever. It is what it is. So, yeah, I don't know. So that whole thing where they trained in that like, both Toya and Endeavor trained in that place. And he basically had lit up the whole thing. And the idea was that his power went out of control and he couldn't handle it, and then therefore he just basically disintegrated. But I find it interesting that after the fact, a little bit of white came through in his hair. I don't know. There's multiple things that this could be. It could just be as simple as it's actually more so stress, because we see this a lot where in shows where characters like they end up getting white hair because it's basically like it's stress that does that, you know. And so that could be something. The fact that obviously the mother's side of the family and everything and the genetics of having like white hair, and just the idea that stress turns hair white is something that could be used as like a kind of like a beat of a story, that the reason why, like, oh, you think it's his mother's gene coming through, when in reality it was just stress that did it, because he was essentially forced into like doing this and whatnot. But the way Toya was like, he was talking about the powers and whatnot, he seemed fine with it. But then, you know, on the other side, it's not stress, and it is the fact that his mother's gene did come through a bit, and therefore that little bit allowed him to survive that big fire or whatever. You know. But clearly, it was something that he had decided and thought about, like planned it to get away, plan his own death, and then to fuck off. But yeah, Best Jean's turn up has completely ruined the plans, though. So this whole plan to like destabilize like society, hero society, and whatnot by telling everyone the truth. Now it's not so sure if the truths are there, if they align, because now you've got, you know, that was the thing, that one thing. If Dabi had left that out, it still could have happened. But the fact is, now that he's put that in, and Best Jeanist has shown up, now all of a sudden it's like, oh shit. So he was lying then. You know what I mean? And then you can't trust the other stuff that he says. So, you know, we'll have to see where this goes. Like, I can't wait for next episode now. It's going to be great. I like the sort of the thing that you talked about as well, about Hawks' father, and the reason why that was all in the wraps is because his father was actually a murderer. Endeavor was the one to put him away. And then it's interesting, like, Endeavor and Hawks have this like relationship, and how that how that worked out. But yeah, at the very start of the episode as well, Himiko, she got her answer from Ochako. Ochako basically saying, like, you know what I mean, you get what you deserve. You know what I mean? If you're in the way of stopping people from, like, you know, saving people, and you're the one that's causing hurt upon other people, then you get what you get, right? And basically Himiko's answer there that she got was, okay, so if I'm not allowed to do what I if I'm not allowed to do what I want to do, then you're gonna do whatever it takes to stop me from doing it, meaning the end goal being death. It's the answer she got. That's the one that she's taking now, and now it's a case of, like, she doesn't go back, you know. Like, there was a, depending on what answer she got, I don't know if it would have changed really, because I think she does what she does anyway. But I feel like now it's just a case of, like, it's confirmed she's not struggling with the idea of anything anymore. Like, nothing's stopping her in one way or another, so now she can just go pure villain, you know, not like she wasn't before. But yeah, so yeah, man, fucking hell, it's been a ride. I mean, the last time I fucking did a bulk session that was that many was quite a long time ago. In fact, I think the last time I did 5 in a row, like back to back, was actually when I first started doing My Hero. I think it was in season 1 that I did that. It was either season 1 or season 2, one of them. But yeah, so yeah, I don't know. In a way, it's sort of like refreshing, I guess, different to do reactions this way, because obviously you're not sort of stopped in your way of thinking or your emotions while you're watching something back to back, almost like watching it as like a full-length movie, as opposed to like watching an episode, waiting a week for the next episode, you know. so just going back to back like allows you to just kind of like stay in that sort of that zone, that world, if you will. And having the whole fight of everything with bloody Shigaraki and all of that, having it all in one go was definitely interesting. So yeah, it hasn't ended though. This whole battle hasn't ended. Best Genius has shown up. He's got a hold of Dabi, but there's still the other League of Villains there, and everyone's not in their like no one's in their peak. Shigaraki's fucked, but Makia won't move unless he gives an order, which means that the way that they're getting out of there, if they're going to get out of there, if it goes the way that I think, and it's like, oh well, now we need to go and we need to go get away from here and heal back up to full strength, then he's going to have to give an order. So it's going to have to be of his own back to do it. I don't know. Maybe he'll see sense and he'll be like, yeah, you know what? Actually, it's probably better off that I come back at full strength and do this again. You know. But yeah, I mean that Shigaraki, he's always been that like way inclined, very petulant. So you know, to turn back now on him would clearly hurt his ego. But yeah, I love the fact that Batgirl, he's like, just put me down, you fucking, you know what I mean? Yeah, he's still it's just absolutely nuts. I did think they were right, like you know, Todoroki and you know, and Nejire and whatnot, like going after Shigaraki to just basically end it there, because you know you wouldn't really get a better chance, you would think. He's that like done. It's like you could just end this now if you really wanted to, but never mind. What happened. Trying to think of like everything that like I've seen, and my idea was to like have a more in-depth sort of like discussion on this, but because it was just like battles, it was just like fight after fight, people jumping in, saving each other. You know, that basically there was nothing. There's not like a lot to really dig deep into. Like most of the stuff that I had questions for were answered, like in regards to the transference thing and all of that. You know, I like after all of this coming up now, I don't really have any questions. Like I feel like everything's been answered to what I want. Like I mean, you know, I guess. Like, I'm sure we'll find out after the whole battle, but like what happened with Best Jeanist, like what was the substitute that Hawks gave Dabi to make him actually believe that it was Best Jeanist, you know? I mean, you never trusted Hawks anyway, so what made him actually believe in him for that one? I don't know. I hope you get answers to that, but yeah. Fucking Aizawa cutting his leg off. Insane, man. That's the thing, like, he cut his leg off, so he's avoided that, but then like after that, Shigaraki getting in there, like almost fucking tearing his eyes out, like ridiculous, man. And then after that, Aizawa wasn't in the whole thing, so you know, that's why I think this is pretty much on the back end of like, you know, it can't last too much longer. An episode and a half at most, because everyone's like down and out, you know what I mean? Like no one's getting back up for a second wind here, you know. Todoroki's like in an alright state, but that's because he came in late. So it's, you know, you've got like Ida there, but realistically, what can he do? You know. Best Genius is in obviously perfect shape because like nothing's happened to him. Like he's totally fresh. You know, and he's good at capturing people, but I don't think he can capture Makia, Dabi, like all of the League of Villains. I don't think he can like, capture all of them at once on his lonesome, you know. So yeah, I'm actually, you know what? I'm surprised, and I hope I'm not going too early on this. That people have, like haven't died. because I don't know, because there's like very much a possibility that, like, I mean, if anyone's dying here, to Gran Torino, I feel like he's probably the most out, you know. I mean, Aizawa's fine. He'll be fine. He's like he's one of those that just has the quirk and like he's in like the place as being the class teacher that, like, I just feel like I know, like, meta that he can't die. He won't die, right? Not yet, anyway, is what I'm saying. Like, just after this fight, like, if anyone's going to die, I just feel like it's going to be Gran Torino, you know, because Bakugo's not going to die. He's fine. Right? He's fine. And Deva, I think, yeah, will be fine. I just feel like it's only Gran Torino, really. Like, is the damage already been done to him? You know, is he that old that even healing? I don't know. But then I don't necessarily think they would just do the whole. Yeah, I don't think they would do the whole what do you call them again? I don't even know where my yeah, I must have lost my bloody. Oh wait a minute, actually no, I should have them here, shouldn't I? The hell's his name, man? I'm trying to think. There's that many characters to think of. It's ridiculous. Night Eye, that was it. Yeah, I don't think they would just do another Night Eye thing, right? Where it would just be, you know, he's suffered the damage in defeat and then he'll die on a hospital bed. You know, they could do, I guess, but I mean, it's something that we've already seen before about damage that's been sustained on the battlefield that just can't be healed because the damage has already been done. And so, you know, if they do that again, I wouldn't know. But I just feel like he was like in the most critical condition. I know Aizawa I know he lost his leg. He's probably losing a lot of blood, but he'll be fine. And I know he will. You know what I mean? So yeah, going forward is going to be definitely interesting. I feel like the biggest thing to really come out of this for me is how Endeavor goes ahead. Like, how does his character change now that he's obviously got this information that Dabi is Toya, and also the whole thing between All For One and Shigaraki sort of vying for power in his own body, because, you know, I mean, All For One's ego is that big that surely he's not just gonna let this idea that, like, Shigaraki's just gonna, like, fucking put him aside. Like, he finds it funny because he's that, like, All For One's that way inclined. Like, he found it interesting that this is the development that it turned to, but, like, he's not going to be so civil as just to allow him to completely take over. But I feel like eventually the story will, I don't know, man. It makes it interesting, the fact that he's in there, and that it gives different possibilities. You know, and like I said, with, you know, in regards to Makia having Sense 2 masters, I guess there's no concrete evidence for him, but the fact that he Sense 2 must have some effect on him. I would think that it would. I'd be a bit disappointed if it didn't, but we'll have to see. But yeah. So we continue on next episode, eh? But that will be next week. So thank you everyone for watching. In the description below, I have links to certain things. Obviously, over on my Patreon, you can get access to the early access for shows a week early. There's the full-length tier, which gives you access to full-length reactions to all the shows I do. And then there is the exclusive tier, which gives you access to all the full-length, all the movies that I react to. So if any of those interest you, you can get yourself over there. But that is all I've got. So thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.